Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Just a reminder tonight, the Joe and Joe Weather Show is at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. I will be soloing. And in the meantime, we've got a pretty nice day underway. Just a few patchy clouds here and there in parts of New England and upstate New York and back through Pennsylvania and even into southern New Jersey and down into Maryland and Delaware. The overcast becomes a little more dominant as you head down into Virginia and North Carolina. Not seeing any lightning strikes showing up. So that's telling us that, well, there are no thunderstorms around. Here's the wider view, and here's where we do have some lightning strikes. Take a look at this line of thunderstorms at midday that is moving out of Louisiana and into Mississippi. And also that line extending all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico. There's another line of storms that's formed in eastern Alabama and down to the western portions of the Florida Panhandle with a few heavy thunderstorms coming and going there. On the radar, that line is fairly visible here and active. No severe weather warnings yet. We'll probably start to see them later today. This is a fairly large system because we've got rain in the Central Plains and on up through the Great Lakes. The radars up and down the East Coast at midday are nice and quiet, and we've got a little precip going on in parts of Montana and on up into northern Idaho, but mostly quiet out in the western part of the U.S. So let's take a look at today's severe weather risk, and it is a slight risk in that area that we saw down from Mississippi and Louisiana on south as that line pushes eastward. The area to the east is in a marginal risk for severe weather, and that marginal risk goes all the way up into the lower lakes. Nothing happening in the east. Tomorrow, everything starts to shift eastward. A slight risk has now been added in Ohio and Kentucky, and the marginal risk from Michigan down to the Florida Panhandle. Also, a slight risk up in the Pacific Northwest, which we don't see too often, with a fairly large area of marginal risk. And now here's where we come in. We've got slight risk of severe weather for the western half of New Jersey, the eastern portion of eastern and central PA. So let's say the eastern half of PA, down into Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, through North Carolina, and down into South Carolina. And this is going to be for Friday. That's when we have this cold front that is moving on through. And just quickly in the long range, we do have a little bit of risk indicated on day 4 up in the northern plains, and on day 5 it shifts a bit further to the east. Rainfall amounts over the next 7 days, generally along the immediate coast, we're talking about less than a half an inch, and in many cases less than a quarter. And inland, it's a little bit more, 3/4 of an inch to an inch from upstate New York on southwestward, and then you get into those bigger amounts of 2 to 3 inches in the central Gulf states. Also, some rains of size across the northern plains and into the western Great Lakes on the order of about an inch to maybe as much as 2 inches. All right, we're almost to the Memorial Day holiday weekend, so let's review what's going on. The Memorial Day holiday weekend, as you know, is the one that usually is you lose one day out of it. Sometimes you lose 2, and sometimes you lose all 3, and sometimes all 3 of them are nice. So with what I'm seeing, and this all really is playing on how this upper low behaves as it moves on up to the northeast. There's a trough in the northern stream that's going to try to take most of the energy out of the picture, but there might be a little bit lagging behind, and there's a second little trough that's going to come through on Saturday. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to see this start to move eastward. No real issues for tomorrow other than the fact that there'll probably be more clouds around and the flow off the ocean will keep temperatures in check. We'll be in the 60s along the coast and low 70s inland today, mostly, well, let's say about the same for tomorrow. Then on Friday, we could see the 80s start pushing up northward. Now, this upper trough is going to be passing by on approaching, and with that strong southwest flow ahead of it, and the cold front that's going to be pushing in ahead of it, we're going to see some showers and thunderstorms. It lags a bit on Saturday, and this is where we could wind up seeing perhaps in the afternoon the chance that there could be a shower or thunderstorm. And the NAM picks up on this fairly well. So here's how it looks like on the surface, and I think it makes the most sense. Much of the day side, as we said, for tomorrow, really, unless there's some spotty drizzle or light rain with the low clouds coming in from off the ocean, that part of it shouldn't be a problem. Then on Friday, we get into a line of showers and thunderstorms. You see them here on Friday evening. That goes by. And then that second trough comes in. This is Saturday after. This is Saturday right around midday, and you start to see some showers, scattered showers and thunderstorms, possibly developing in upstate New York and over in east central Pennsylvania. This is at 2 o'clock, and then at 5 o'clock, and then at 8 o'clock. Notice that they basically fall apart as they move eastward. So we're going to throw in the chance that there could be a shower or thunderstorm on Saturday, but I'm thinking much of the day it could wind up being okay. And then as we move and as we move through the rest of the weekend, I think we're going to be fine. Sunday looks like a good day overall. There's a little bit of energy out to our east. I think that's not going to be a problem. And then on Monday, as we start to see the winds start to come a little more southwest, we'll start to warm up. So I'm thinking we're looking at 70s on Saturday, 70s to maybe some warm spots getting to 80 on Sunday, and then possibly into the 80s on Monday. And in fact, much of next week looks to be on the warm and dry side until another cold front will probably come through late next week or beyond. So that's a lot of time to look ahead to. So in the meantime, optimistic that at least 2 out of the 3 days will be fine. And Saturday, again, maybe some scattered showers and thunderstorms around in the afternoon. But much of the day, I think, should be okay. So see you tonight at 7 o'clock on the Joe and Joe Weather Show. And hope you have a nice Wednesday afternoon.